Hey, what's going on YouTube? Lionel here, and I have another fragrance review for you. This is from the house of Serge Lutens. It's something that's quite popular in the community. It is called Chergui. As you can see, I actually sold a 10 mil. I think I sold 10 mil decant, maybe 5 mil or something. Decanted some more that I have just sitting in a decant, and then this is what I have left in the bottle. So. Very simple bottle, quite functional. It is easy for splitting purposes because this is removed, becomes a splash, or it's an atomizer. So Serge Lutens has done a good job with that. Very simple bottle, little what you call in the front. So as it relates to bottle presentation, this is probably one of the cheapest, cheap, cheapest niche related, popular niche, worldwide niche type of bottles. But elegant, simple, classy. But definitely there's no real presentation value in it. Um, Now, as it relates to Chergui, it is a spicy Oriental. Um, this was created in 2005, so I mean we're coming up on about 7 years on this thing. Um, and it does have some gourmand type of characteristics to it. But um, so let me get into the notes. In the top you have tobacco leaf, honey, iris, sandalwood, and amber, and then in the base you have musk, incense, and rose. Um, to me, this people talk a lot about hay, and maybe there's hay in original. This is our fragrantica, so it does have a hay type of feel to it when you think of hay, but it's sweetened up and made a lot more dense. Here's the unique thing. Here's the unique thing I've seen about most Serge Lutens fragrances. They have this dry, wet, yin yang type of um, feel to them because the hay and the tobacco kind of gives it this dry feeling, but the honey and the musk and the amber kind of gives it this damp feel to it. So I mean, his fragrances are very unique along that line. I mean, I don't know if many people pull that off quite as well. Because when I think of things like, let me give you an example, like Pure Havana, or even like Back to Black. Let me get Back to Black feels very wet to me. There's no dry component to it. Chergui kind of has this dry, arid component to it, yet it's wet and sticky and syrupy. Very, very unique. I mean, I don't know why. That one and Ambre Sultan, which are the only two that I've really experienced, and Tuberose Criminal, each of those feel kind of dry or kind of has this dry type of feel to it, but they're very damp, very wet, very sticky, very syrupy. So, and I really think it exudes what that Middle Eastern type of feel because you just kind of have that spicy. It has a spicy Oriental Mid Eastern feel to it, but yet it's just kind of sticky and sort of has that Paris, type of gourmand feel to it. So, anyway, enough about that. Initial spray, you get a blast of tobacco and a blast of honey. I get a lot of honey in this fragrance. This fragrance is a very honey laden fragrance to me. On my skin, I get a lot of the honey, and then you know, about 30 minutes into it, the amber joins the party and it gets thicker and heavier and syruppier. And and then the incense start to peak its head, but the incenses are very, very, if you don't like incense, you don't have to worry about it in this because they're so subtle. It's so drawn back. It just kind of adds a hint of that spiciness to it. It just adds a little bit of spiciness. And then I didn't realize it, but when I started to wear it again, it does have a sharp iris component to it. But again, the honey and tobacco and the amber is so thick and so syrupy that the iris isn't as sharp and pungent as it is in like Dior Homme Intense. But it's there because you can feel it burning your nose. You can feel that iris is burning your nose just a little, but the aroma of the iris is kind of curtailed by the rest of the notes. Um, As this wears, it gets heavier and denser and more syrupy. And then uh, uh, by the base, so in a heart, what you have is tobacco, honey, amber. The iris is maybe around, but it's not. It's definitely, there's no sharpness to it at all. So maybe it's adding a bit of floral appeal to it, and then the incense is there, kind of just peeking his head up, every so often, giving it this little spicy, complex. Incense always adds this complexity to a fragrance to me. I really enjoy incense in a fragrance. Actually, as I mentioned, rose oud feels like it has incense in it, but it doesn't. But rose oud sort of has that spiciness in it that gives it an incense feel. Anyway, back to this one. So, um, by the time it dries down, which it never really dries. It still has this syrupy component, and I don't know how long it lasts. I mean, it's always there. To me, this is another fragrance that just lasts forever. Gets pretty close to the skin after about the 6-8 hour mark, but it's always there. It's always present, and anybody that's near you, hugs you, is going to smell it, and I think they're going to really, really love it. Seasons is the problem. A lot of people talk about when to wear this. I wear this whenever I feel like wearing it, and not only that, I think it sort of has a La Air type of purpose to it. It really can be worn in the summers. I mean, this is not a really cold weather scent, though everybody talks about it as a cold weather scent. I can't wait till the summer when it's hot to put about 2 sprays on and see what it does. If it kills me, I'll wash it off, but I'm gonna go for it. So, compliment factor, pretty reserved. I mean, it's pretty about. I get an average compliment factor with Chergui, though I think the scent is beautiful. I think it's one of the most beautiful. Rose oud and this is probably two of the most beautiful scents that I have. But both of them are, the compliments are just kind of reserved. Maybe people don't know what to say. Maybe people think it's too feminine and they don't want to offend me. I don't know. However, I absolutely love this scent, and I will always keep a bottle of it in my collection. Always. When this bottle runs out, I will have another bottle of this. Um, the longevity again is about all day. I get until I wash it off. The projection again, after first spray, it kind of goes. It's heavy and it kind of travels. But as it gets denser and heavier, it gets closer to the skin. But it's here for you. What's the funny thing about this one is, some sense like a Ventus grabs people, right? But it doesn't really bother you because you can't sense it after 6 hours. This one, after 6 hours, it's still there. So I think some people may have a problem with this because it could bother you because you smell it for so long. But other people don't smell it as much. It's kind of weird. Um, Sillage is very good. If you walk out of somewhere, it stays there. So somebody else is going to smell you for sure. It just doesn't project much. Um, Overall, it is a 5 out of 5 fragrance. I forgot to give Rose Oud 5 out of 5. Definitely 5 out of 5 out of Rose Oud. 5 out of 5 fragrance. Absolute love. We'll keep it in my collection. Um, when to wear this, I can feel why some people will find it complicated. I think it's mature fragrance. I think it is very mature fragrance. I don't think anybody in the age of 25 would really appreciate it. It's quite artistic. It's very artistic fragrance. So, it's not something that you wear because you want to impress a lot of people. It's something that you wear because you love fragrances. Chergui is a you must love first fragrance because it just may not do a lot for other people. So that's my review. I greatly appreciate you watching me today. I will not do a third review. Greatly. My next review will probably be, well, it'll be a surprise. So anyway, that's it. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.